Joining us now with more on this development, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Virginia Congressman Bob Goodlatte. Sir, good to see you. Welcome to New York.
Thank you, Sean. Great to be with you and your viewers.
Anything I'm saying so far before I get to this new information that's wrong? Anything you think I'm wrong on?
Well, we don't know everything that's right yet, and so it's absolutely critical that we get all of this information out. But this is very alarming, and it is absolutely something that the Congress needs to pursue and the American people need to know about. The calls for transparency are absolutely important.
Sounds like they're withholding, my interpretation, things from Congress.
Well, that's how I read this text that we have provided today. This text Strzok references 302s. As you know from the amount of time you've spent on this, 302s are reports filed by FBI agents after they interview witnesses. And they were requested by the Congress. And Strzok is talking to Lisa Page, and he says, there are very inflammatory things in the 302s we didn't turn over to Congress because they weren't relevant to understanding the focus of the investigation that are going to come out in a FOIA and absolutely inflame Congress. Now, why is it that folks in the FBI make that decision rather than the United States Congress makes a decision what is relevant to the investigation?
We do have co-equal branches of government the last time I checked, and we do have oversight of Congress, and in particular of these branches. Let me ask you this, because this is what we're learning. They first talked of an insurance policy. I believe it's Andrew McCabe, Strzok and Page. Then we've got, they knew that there was nothing that was going to happen. Now, Peter Strzok is literally exonerating with James Comey Hillary Clinton. They start this in early May. She's not interviewed till the 4th of July. July 1st, then we find out Loretta Lynch, Profile and Courage, that Loretta Lynch also knows nothing's going to happen to Hillary. So we have Comey, Strzok, Page, McCabe, and Loretta Lynch knowing nothing's going to happen, an exoneration before investigation. Is that common practice? I didn't know you wrote exonerations before you actually did the investigation.
Absolutely not. And it shows an unbelievably contrasting approach to the investigation of one presidential candidate compared to the investigation of the other presidential candidate.
What about the hate that we see, loathsome, F Trump, between Page and Strzok? And Strzok is up to his eyeballs in everything. And he even conducted the interview with Hillary before Comey then publicly exonerates her after a 13.5-minute speech where you think he's going to indict her.
And he edited that. He edited.
Well, how many times? Taking out the legal standard.
Absolutely.
Well, they hate Trump. Now, he also was appointed by Mueller. All the Mueller appointments are Clinton, Obama, DNC donors. There's no Trump donors in there. And then I look at Andrew Weissman. Here's a guy that got it wrong, 9-0 decision in the Supreme Court overturning him. He held back exculpatory evidence in a particular case. 4 Merrill executives go to jail for a year. That's overturned by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. Does that sound like somebody that should have been hired by Robert Mueller? And should this special counsel be disbanded based on what we know now?
It's very concerning about Weissman and more than just Strzok on this investigation. But I'm not prepared to call for ending the investigation. I think that there has to be transparency about what is going on behind the scenes, not with the investigation itself.
Is there any evidence of Trump-Russia collusion that we've seen?
I haven't seen it.
Nobody's seen it, have they?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. All right. Congressman, great to see you. I know you're working hard on this. Last question. I do have a question. Rod Rosenstein did walk into Paul Ryan's office. I know this happened. This is when we're coming up on the deadline for the information that led to the memo from the House Intel Committee. That's interesting to me, begging Ryan not to release it. As I look at that behavior and look at what you've read the memo, correct?
I have indeed.
Will I be shocked?
Based upon what you're talking about here, I don't think I should comment, but I will say this, that it's very important for the American people to see it because it is a very important issue that should concern all of them.
And we should have all 50,000 text messages, shouldn't we?
I think the text messages, as long as they don't contain anything about sources and methods.
We don't want to put anybody in jeopardy. I agree with that.
Will, I think, be available to the American people. And we're thrilled to get these new text messages because it fits exactly exactly into what we're talking about. We've already requested them today, and we've requested them unredacted, so that
Agreed.
we can make the judgment about what is important in this investigation and not the people who are being investigated.
Congressman, we need oversight more than ever. I am really concerned that a grave injustice and a great corruption has happened, not rank and file at the very top.
A lot is happening. We've got a good inspector general who, as I said to you on your radio program yesterday, we have other ways to find this. Guess what? He found them. And that's really important.
And we got all 4 phones.
And we got
How many phones do you have?
I have one.
Yeah, normal. Okay. Good to see you, sir.